أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
If everybody could be seated, I think we're about to begin the evening's proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset I'd like to thank you all very much for having taken the time and trouble for coming here tonight to listen to a discussion between Islam and Christianity. I would like to emphasize right at the beginning that this is not a debate, but it is a discussion in which we hope that the different people sitting here in the audience will understand each other's religions much better and have a good understanding of what's going on in Islam and Christianity at the end of this period. At the outset, I'd like to thank the authorities of the Potchefstroom University for having so very kindly consented to lend us the facilities here, which, as you all know, are very magnificent. And for having allowed us this time, we'd like to thank especially Mr. Rian van der Walt, who has taken the time and trouble during his own time to organize the mic systems, which I'm sure you all agree are in excellent condition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side we have Professor van Rooy, who's a lecturer and head of the Department of Semitic Languages at Potchefstroom University. He's been a lecturer here since 1980 and has done an excellent job in his field. He's a world authority and has done a lot of extensive research. The students who are present here tonight will verify that. We are, of course, very grateful to Professor van Rooy for having taken the time and trouble for coming to give us an insight into the Christian religion. On my left-hand side, we have Mr. Ahmed Deedat, who is a Muslim scholar of the Christian Bible. Mr. Ahmed Deedat has been studying the Christian Bible for the last 20 years, has given many talks around the world in this field, has had many countless discussions with very important people involved in religion throughout the world. Mr. Ahmed Deedat has also consented to give the Islamic point of view here, and we hope, ladies and gentlemen, that at the end of this discussion that we have a greater insight into both religions, and that this will assist us to understand each other and to understand our ways of life and our religions. Also, I would like to make one important announcement, and that is that there will be no smoking allowed in this auditorium, which is a strict law required by Potchefstroom University. Also, Professor van Rooy will speak for exactly 1 hour, after which he will sum up his talk for 10 minutes, and then it will be the turn of Mr. Ahmed Deedat on my left-hand side, who will then also speak for another hour, and he will sum up his talk for 10 minutes. So please be patient. After these talks, we will allow about half an hour of question time. We'd like to make an earnest appeal. If you look in the aisles, you'll see there are 2 microphones, one on the left and one on the right. And it's very important for the people who are asking the questions to come down to the microphones and speak into the mic while they're asking the questions. These should, of course, be done in an orderly fashion. And if there are too many people asking questions, I'd implore you to please stand in a line so that you can ask your question and these could be answered to the best of our ability. Without much further ado, I'd like to call upon Professor van Rooy to deliver his talk. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure my wife won't believe that I'm able to talk for 1 hour and 10 minutes. And perhaps it will be at the end a bit shorter than that, but then we can perhaps use more time for questioning. Then also, Mr. Chairman, I'm very glad that when you said on my right-hand side is Professor van Rooy, you didn't say at 75 kilograms. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad for this opportunity to appear before you tonight. Although it's not always that easy to speak in a foreign language like English, so you will have to bear with me for the time. But I can tell you that I did find it indeed difficult to prepare myself for this occasion tonight. The main problem was to decide how I am going to present what I have to say to you tonight. I think that in a meeting like this, there are at least 3 possible approaches that one can use. It is possible to go on the attack. That is, for me as a Christian to say almost nothing about my beliefs and to attack Islam or the Quran or Muhammad. And as you probably know very well, there is a lot of literature that one can use for this purpose. It's also possible to go on the defense and try to answer the usual points that are raised against Christianity by a Muslim. And again, you can find a lot of literature for this kind of approach. I have decided, however, not to use one of these approaches, but to opt for a third approach, one that is, to my mind, more suited for an occasion like this. Many of the Muslims in the audience tonight might know a lot of Christians, and they may meet many more in the course of their daily work. But I think that it is quite possible that few of you have actually heard a Christian witnessing to his faith. And that is what I would like to do tonight. I'm not a scholar of Islam, nor an attacker of that faith. I am, however, a Christian, a person who believes that the only way to salvation is through Jesus Christ, the eternal Son of God. I'm not here tonight to defend Jesus Christ, because as sovereign God, He has no need of my defending Him. I'm here as a witness to Jesus Christ, to tell you about my faith and what it means to me. This I am going to try to do, by telling you about the Bible, by giving you a summary of the main contents of my faith, and by telling you what my faith means to me. I'm going to start then with the Bible as the Word of God. When you have a debate between people who have different convictions, or when you have a dialogue, there should preferably be some sort of common point of departure, or some sort of common procedure according to which one can proceed. And perhaps that is the most important problem of our meeting tonight. Is there indeed such a common point of departure between Christians and Muslims? One can say that both groups believe in a God, but that can be said of people of other faiths as well. More important perhaps is that both groups have a book that plays an important part in their faith. This is again not a common point of departure, because we have different books, the Bible and the Quran. And ladies and gentlemen, it is exactly at this point that the ways part. Because as a Christian, I accept the Bible as the Word of God. And someone who is not a Christian cannot hold the Bible in the same regard as I do as a Christian. He cannot read the Bible in the same way as I do. He cannot understand it in the same way as I do. It does not speak to him as it speaks to me. Take, for example, Mr. Deedat, who are also speaking tonight. In the advertisement and also in the introduction by